Introducing Game Boy. It's portable, it's in stereo, and its games are interchangeable. Plus, Game Boy comes with the outrageous new game, Tetris. And for head-to-head competition, use the revolutionary video link and blow your opponent away.
Chocolate cake, Game Boy, and me.
Game Boy, only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, portable power.
What's up, guys? It's Hot7 RCT Gaming bringing you another video for you guys. I hope that you guys out there are well. This time around I am super psyched because we're gonna go into what you're seeing right there on screen on the desktop. We're gonna be doing the granddaddy of portables, which, if you guys remember, I did a video recently for the Type R pack for Game Gear and mentioned in that occasion that I would be doing more portables. I will be doing them as they release, but for now we're gonna be doing the Game Boy Dynasty, the Nintendo, basically the golden goose in the portable segment, so to speak. It's amazing actually to be covering this, and kind of timely in a way, because if you check, you're gonna see a lot of people talking about the recent leak in the Game Boy Advance emulator for Switch. This was leaked recently, and it was taking everybody by storm, because even though many of us suspected that was a system that was going to be added to the Switch soon, seeing that kind of brought back memories and had everybody thinking about the classic portables that Nintendo had. So it's kind of fitting that now I'm able to cover these two, and I say these two because I'm separating what is the Game Boy from Game Boy Color. Many people do not realize, but they were two separate systems. I've had my fair share of experience with Nintendo portables in the past from the very beginning. If we really go into it, you can say that I started with the Game Boy, which at the time, to be completely honest, didn't feel like this huge, humongous thing that was being released in the electronic tech world. It felt more like, something that made sense for you to have. It felt, for me, at the time when I got it, I didn't get it immediately after launch. I even had no idea when it got launched. All I knew is that I kept seeing it everywhere. Everybody wanted to pick up a Game Boy this, Game Boy that. For me, it felt at the time, given how a lot of the market, a lot of the tech was being advertised as, the smaller the better. This felt to me something as ubiquitous as, let's say, something like the Walkman, Sony Walkman. Something that might not be the latest, greatest tech, but it was so convenient and it was part of everyday life that it kind of blended in the background. In that sense, I started with the Game Boy. But as you can see, there's the Game Boy Pocket and Game Boy Color that came after. Those, in my personal experience, I skipped over, because at the time when these two came out, I barely wasn't really paying much attention to the portable scene, since I felt that I had everything that I needed on the Game Boy. By this time, I had played most of the games that I really wanted to play on the Game Boy, so I didn't feel it was enough for me at the time to justify buying another system, especially if it was going to play the same games. So I skipped these two, and I was day one with Game Boy Advance. This one, oh my god, I went crazy. I got as many games as I could at launch. and I kept buying more Game Boy Advance games, even though I felt a little bit disappointed with the fact that, you know, it didn't have any backlight. You had to buy little gadgets and stuff for it. It wasn't bright enough. And then came around the Game Boy Advance SP. Oh my God, I was, again, day one on this one. Nintendo had me, you know. And basically my first experience in having, you know, purchasing a Nintendo iteration, you know, not a complete sequel, but a version that has some upgrades to it. And keep thinking about that for a second, because we're facing something similar with the Switch right now. You know, with the whole rumored, you know, Switch Pro or next gen Switch, whatever it ends up being, this is something that makes sense if it adds more value to the original one. Now, after the Game Boy SP, Advance SP, I skipped the micro. This was more like a niche thing, and I went straight day one to Nintendo DS. Because I saw, you know, the whole thing with the dual screen. I wasn't completely on board with the design of it, but I'm like, hey, if they made these iterations, maybe later on they'll have something that has a better shape. And lo and behold, yes, they did. I skipped the DS Lite, but then I got on board with the DSi, because this one added a camera and some other features, and I was all over it. Now, DSi XL, I skipped because at the time I think I had spent enough with the DS line, and I said, no, I'm going to let this one pass, and went for the Nintendo 3DS. Again, first day, got my games, loved the 3D effect, which is not very popular with a lot of people, but I loved it. And then eventually ended up getting the 3DS XL as well, because I love the bigger screens. And at this point, you know, you start getting older and you appreciate more screen real estate. So I was all over that. So this gives you an idea of not only how influential, aside from basically cornering the portable market, and yes, I am taking into consideration all the other portable consoles that came in to try to compete, PSP, Vita, you know, I get it. I understand they're valuable in their own right, but nothing comes close, in my opinion, to the influence and the market of these original two, the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. That being said, like I said, it was a little long-winded there. I needed to get that out of the way because it is something that, you know, needs to be looked at. And if you don't know the history of Game Boy, you know, at least get yourself an idea of why it has last for so long, this domination of Nintendo on the portable side of things. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to show you now a little sizzle reel so you see how this nice Type R pack, or packs, remember, you got both Game Boy and Game Boy Color, how it looks in the different themes for Type R, and then we'll be back for some gameplay. Enjoy. Alright, so let's go into the build so I can show you these very cool packs. Alright, so for these portables, I'm kind of using mainly for my videos the poster theme found here in the settings for Type R. But in handheld is very nifty because you have here the Game Boy OG and you have the Color, right? You get to see the box art and the card art I love very much. Of course, the box art that you see here is something that I did on my own. Usually when you use the standard settings, it's going to be 2D art here for the poster theme, but I'm trying to keep them like this because I enjoy it more this way. So, you know, just so you guys know. So on this side we have the OG Game Boy, basically coming out July 31st, 1989. It lasted all the way from 89 to 2003. Units sold, as you can see here, 118 million units. And the best-selling game for this was, of course, the one that you're seeing on screen, Tetris, with approximately 35 million units sold. So that's a lot of games. But of course, you have to take into consideration that Tetris was the pack-in game for the longest time. That's how I got mine. So yeah, that kind of factors into the whole units sold. But then if we jump over here to Game Boy Color, again treated as separate releases. In this case, we have that it was released on, at least North America, November 18, 1998. It lasted from 98 to 2003. You see the price of it, and basically difference is, you know, color and the best-selling games, Pokemon Gold and Silver, selling over 23 million units. So that, again, also a lot of games. And that basically covers what each did. But how does it play? It plays amazing. The guys did a fantastic job of basically doing the great bezel work, the screen effects and all that stuff. Let's launch here Tetris, because of course this is the granddaddy, so we need to run this one. And again, they did a great job in giving you the feeling, the actual feeling, but blown up for your 4K viewing pleasure. But this is the one that got me hooked, and that got a lot of people, actually non-gamers, to actually give gaming, and in this case the Game Boy, a try. Tetris was a hook. I don't care what anybody says. It was a hook for a lot of people. And here you have it in all its olive green glory. And let me tell you, at the time when I was playing this, I really didn't mind at all. Did I wish at some point, let's say playing another game, which I'm going to be showing you in a little bit, did I wish for color? Oh, hell yeah. I certainly did wish for color, but for some weird reason, it did not take away from the enjoyment that I had. Like, never once I was like regretting purchasing a Game Boy, like ever. I know it's kind of different nowadays, because nowadays we tend to find a lot of fault in everything, and questioning everything, and everything is like standard bad instead of, you know, offering constructive criticism. Like, people love to argue. But back in the time when this released, it was like, holy crap, this is cool. You know, let's give it a try. And yep, and many years later, here we are. Yeah, this is something, this game in particular was wrapped up in a lot of legal battle between the creator. If you read books like Game Over, which I am a fan of, you're gonna see how everything went down. Nintendo taking the side of the creator of the game and trying to vie for, you know, the creator's rights. It's a really interesting story. Look into the legal battles that went down in order for us to enjoy this game the way that we did. And of course, the feeling of making a Tetris, it's always going to be the same. So, okay, before I get ahead of myself, let me get out. Now, aside from Tetris, what other game did I enjoy a ton? Well, I got them here in the best of, but of course, the pack will allude to this right here, which is the all games section, and this is where the whole collection will be. Now, if you give me a second, and voila, there you go. You have the number in the bottom, which is 567, I count here. So you got plenty of Game Boy games to go through. But if I'm going to be honest, I go back to best of Wario, or Wario Land was one of the first that I actually bought. And Mario Land as well. But seeing Wario in this setting was amazing back then. I also made a mistake. I need to correct that. What I said in the beginning, that I did not pick up Game Boy Color because it did not offer new games. That I am incorrect in that assertion. Like I said, I wasn't really paying attention to the portable scene at that time. I was more focused on the home consoles. Super Nintendo, Genesis, TurboGrafx, they all had my attention and time, so I was very happy with the Game Boy. I also understand that for the Game Boy Color, a ton of games were made exclusive for that system. There was a lot of cross-gen, and what I mean by cross-gen is that there were a lot of games that were playable both in the OG one and Color. Color adding just a little bit on top. I'm going to try and show you that when I go to the Game Boy Color. But yeah, that was my mistake. My bad. I correct that. So yeah, it did have plenty of exclusive games, which I missed back then, and now I'm going to get a chance to be able to play them. I love it. He's a crazy ass dude. He is the Mario with the attitude. Oh, got me. Now another one, of course, Castlevania. Crazy good Castlevania, even though you didn't have the color, you had the green, but incredibly fun games, awesome music at the time. I'm gonna run, even though the other one I like, I'm gonna run this one just for the soundtrack, because I love that soundtrack that this one has. And skip the intro, sorry. I just want to hear the music. Here we go. Now that, of course, is a sped up version of the classic tune from Castlevania, but it just sounds so good. I remember playing this one too when I did the retrospective on Castlevania. I think it was a year or two back. I never get tired of Castlevania. It's one of my favorite franchises. Hoping to see more and better of it soon, but you know, we can only dream. Alright, get out of here because we got to do also some Game Boy Color. But before I go over to Color, there's something that needs to be said here or mentioned. Dr. Mario, another awesome game. I played the hell out of it in on NES. And if I were paying more attention, I probably would have purchased this one as well, this version, because it's super, super fun. You have the Final Fantasies, but I'm not gonna go there yet. There is one in particular. You have actually two. Now that I see it, you know, there were this one, Link's Awakening, which I got immediately when it came out. Because who doesn't want Zelda? I don't care if it's a single color. If it's 2 shades of brown, I'm still gonna play it. And this one was a surprise for me because just like Metroid, which was the one that I was alluding to, this one was a completely different version of the game that was on Super NES and NES even. Different story. It was a fully new game made for the platform, and I loved every single thing of it. I'm not gonna boot it here because, you know, it's gonna go into the setup and all that stuff, but it was a fantastic game, and one that I played in the OG one. So now the other one is this one right here. Now it's funny coming from me that I'm saying that this is like probably my favorite game from the whole library that I got to test back at the time with the OG Game Boy, especially having the Pokemon. I was not really too into the Pokemon craze. I at least I didn't get on board with these two. I got on board with Yellow, which came way after. But Metroid 2, this one, oh my god, I loved the hell out of it. Completely different from the one that I had played over and over on the NES, and especially different from the one I also ended up loving, and one of my favorites on SNES. This one, for some reason, when I played it, I just couldn't get away with it. I couldn't get away from it. Not away with it, from it. It was just seeing Samus, you know, bigger sprite, more action oriented than the actual SNES one. And what I mean more action oriented is that you had objectives. You needed to, those, that 39 that you see down there with the Metroid, that was basically your objective. You had to simply find your way around to getting rid of those amount of Metroids. So this one was the first that I got to play that wasn't in the, let's call quote-unquote Metroidvania. This one felt more like a Castlevania, a regular one, with Metroid skin on top. Probably less exploration and more action is what I'm trying to say. Incredible game. So, going from here, let's step into, not yet. This one is coming soon. Let's step into the Game Boy Color. Now, once again, this kind of like certifies what the correction that I made just a little while ago about exclusives for the Game Boy Color. As you can see here, the boxes even tell you only for Game Boy Color. Like this one right here, Wario, which I enjoyed so much. This one had its third iteration on Game Boy Color, and you can find it or play it on the original one. So there you have it. More reasons to pick it up. And you can tell that I'm going to make a comparison here. This is basically a game made from the ground up for the Game Boy Color, right? You can see more attention to detail when it comes to the colors and how the graphics look when you compare it to something that was made for the original Game Boy, but given, you know, a couple of shades of colors on top. Now if we go here to one that wasn't an exclusive, now let's compare it to something like this, Shantae. You get to see that the colors are a little bit more, perhaps more simplistic. You probably get like 4 or 5 colors at the same time, no more than that. But still fun games nonetheless. So let's go into one. Since this basically, I never got a chance to play any of them, I'm just gonna pick something that I would have enjoyed back then. Given that I played all the mainliners for the OG system. Oh, look at this, we even have Resident Evil Gaiden here. And Ready to Rumble. Damn, there's a lot that I have to get up to date with this one. Oh, we'll shoot 'em up. That's it. That's it. You had me there. R-Type. R-Type DX. Nice. The intro music there. Yep, got the charge up shot. That's it. Give me my bit, baby. It is probably on the easier side than the other versions, but it's still a nice, faithful rendition. I'm saying that it's easier and I'm starting to bump into stuff. Okay. Next time I keep my mouth shut. Alright, so far I'm liking what I'm seeing here. I need my bit. You guys go ahead and knock yourself out and start exploring through these awesome games, pocket-sized version of the games that you love, and give this one and the OG one a try. And yeah, I would say that these two are a complete home run. So that said, guys, head over to their Discord, the core Discord, so you can grab these two packs. Stay tuned for this one, because this one is coming up very soon. And some more portables here, which I already have lined up. But for now, that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys very soon. Take care and have fun.